Fusion down there pulls up, and yeah, they're just chilling there. So we have this abandoned, nice quiet spot, and I guess they're here to just creep on me and watch. Anyway, what's up guys, welcome back to the vlog. Well, I got something to show you here. Truck here, my baby that I take mudding, I try and take care of as best as I can. Second place at the Mopar show, so not bad for trucks. I'm very proud of her. So oh, there they are. Hi, how you doing? Come on over, join the vlog. Don't be shy. Anyway, yeah, so the Mopar happening last Sunday was very fun. Wasn't the best turnout for that show, but it was still a good turnout. Lot of variety. All Mopars, you can't beat that, right? And yeah, the Power Wagon here got second place, so I'm very proud of it. It was a fun day either way. First award I've ever gotten, you know, in like a car show related event, so that's pretty exciting. And you know, you get a goodie bag too with a bunch of stuff, and I got to meet some cool people and talk to some cool people, so it was very fun. If you came out, hope you had a great time, and if you're one of the people that talked to me, it's nice to see you. And they're just doing circles over there. Anyway, I wanted to update you guys on a couple things here. First, I want you guys down in the comments to tell me any ideas you have about maybe changing this grill up. Now, at first glance from far away, it looks awesome. It looks mean. I love the way it looks. I don't really want to change it, but I'm just leaving my mind open to other ideas, or keeping it the same but redoing it, and let me explain. So if we zoom in close here, this is a update on the grill. I'll leave a link in the description of a video I did way back in November, so not quite a year ago, but what is that, 8 or 9 months ago. This is daily driven, so I don't know, I guess it's decent hold up, but not great compared to better methods. You know, I'm not a plastidipped spokesman. I don't think it's like great by any means. It was just quick and cheap, and I think it did a decent job, gave it a good look for a while. But after almost a year, you can see there's chips everywhere. Excuse me, bugs hitting it, whatever. Ends up chipping over time, and you can see the chrome underneath. It's not a good look. There's a scratch right there. Just get some unevenness about it, so you can see that. And if you also notice, you can't clean it too hard because it'll end up scratching off, and that would look bad too. So you end up getting all these bugs and certain debris just stuck in there, you know, like right there, and you really can't do shit about it. So leave your ideas below, if you will, about what to use to paint it next, or maybe a different route. So what do you think about the grill? This needs to change. The plastidip's not going to hold up forever, as you can see. I already knew that, but I just wanted to show you how long you can get out of it, and let's do a better method next. So let me know. They're still doing circles. And anyway, other than that, the truck's looking good. Just did the oil change yesterday. It's got just about 33,000 miles on it. I can't believe that, but it's doing good. One other thing I wanted to show you. I don't know how this happened, but when I was detailing it for the show, so thoroughly detailing it, buffing it everywhere, I noticed something. If you look at this headlight, this is how it's supposed to be, okay? It's snug. If I push on it, hit it, whatever, it stays snug, okay? It doesn't move, okay? Now this one over here, I was trying to buff out the lens here, right? The whole thing moves. I don't know if that shows up. I'm like, wow, the whole headlight's about to fall out. So, sure enough, if we pop the hood here, this is the correct headlight. See that retaining screw right there? This one, missing it, completely gone. So I gotta get that replaced. So I'll probably, hopefully by the next couple videos, I'll have that replaced. I'll show that. And does that happen to anyone else? I don't know how that would come out, but if you got any ideas, let me know. I'd love to hear them. Anyway, so that's just a little fluke that happened. That is an easy fix, but just thought I'd show you guys. Alright guys, now for the Q&A segment. So let's see what we got here. Okay, Ghost Rider 304 says, so will you be adding a light bar over the windshield? I don't think so. I like the light bars on certain vehicles. For some reason I'm picky with my vehicles, and for this Power Wagon, I kind of almost, like if you see my wheel choice and like kind of the style I go with, I kind of like the classic off-roaders. Like if I had $1 million, I would also have like a 78 Power Wagon. I love kind of the classic style trucks, and even though this is a modern truck, I feel like it has kind of that classic heritage, and I'm trying to resemble that look as well. So I do want, you know, aftermarket lights on this, but I want like the KC highlights, like the old round style. Like I would love to have either 2 or 4 going across, either on the top. I don't know if it would look good up front, probably more towards the back of the roof. Ultimately I'd love to have a headache rack or whatever, the roll bar, whatever you want to call it, in the bed that goes up, and have the lights kind of above the rear of the roof. Have like 4 round KC lights back there. That's what I would love to do eventually. I had to look into it. If you guys have any ideas on that, let me know. I might have to get one custom made. The problem is I have the Ram box bed, so it's a little thinner. So I know that, you know, runs into issues with certain aftermarket ones I believe are just made for the normal width bed. So I won't be adding your typical 50-inch like LED light bar, not to this truck at least. I'm not against those, it's just for this build, doesn't match what I want to do. So he says, would you consider a snorkel like the one offered by AEV? In a perfect world, yes. A snorkel is great, especially for off-roading, going through deep water, which I do both of those. So ideally, I should have one. Eventually down the road, I might get one. Right now, it's not a priority because it's so capable and so lifted right now. I can go through 3 feet of water, no problem. And if, you know, when you need a snorkel, you're going through some real deep shit. I typically avoid stuff like that. You know, I don't try and get in really bad situations. So right now, there's no snorkel in the plans in the near future, but maybe down the road. All right, Carlos Suchil says, do you have any cold air intake on your truck, bro, or any performance besides your exhaust system? All right, well, as for cold air intakes, I do not. For those, I'm the type where if I spend my money, I want it well spent. And I haven't done like deep research on cold air intakes, but I know that most of them that you buy are very minimal. They're basically for looks, and I don't have the hood open on this on display for people barely at all, so I don't really care how dressed up it is underneath. And as for performance, I don't really think it does well on here. If there's one that's really proven that draws in truly cold air and maybe gives you some horsepower, then I would consider it in that route. But right now, for pure performance, no. All I have is exhaust system, like you mentioned. That's pretty much the only performance thing I have. I would love to, whether or not I build up the engine or not, I would love to get headers, an actual set of high flow headers for it. So that I really want to do, you know, in the near future for engine stuff. So that is on my radar for sure. If you guys know good headers for this, and things along that line, let me know, because I really do want headers for this to kind of complete the whole exhaust work I've done to this truck. Chill Will Glass has a long comment here. Thank you for the comment, bud. But I'll just skip straight to his questions. This guy does have a 17 Power Wagon, so that's awesome. Congratulations. His first question is, could you recommend a good aftermarket exhaust? Your truck sounds fantastic and mine could surely use a little more bark for a V8. Well, thank you, first of all, and I agree that stock with such a monster 6.4 Hemi, they should be louder. They're very quiet stock, and it just doesn't match the attitude of the truck. So putting that exhaust on there automatically those lines. It's exclusively the MagnaFlow muffler built for this truck's exhaust system for this truck from mufflex.com. That's the only site you can get it. You can't even get it on MagnaFlow. I don't know how that all works. It's weird, but if you want my exact muffler, that's how I did it. My system is stock headers right now, stock cat, and then 3.5 inch piping all the way through. I kept the 3.5 inch piping. That was important to me. I wanted the bigger exhaust. I didn't want to go down to like a 2.5 inch or a 3. So 3.5 inch piping, the Mufflex MagnaFlow muffler, and then it dumps. I have an elbow basically right behind the muffler dumping straight down, so well before the rear axle. So it dumps down. So there's no resonator either. If you go back to my earlier videos, I had the same muffler, but I had the stock exhaust axle back part, so it had the resonator and all that. It was a side exit. Both sounded good. I like it now. It's real loud, real aggressive. Probably too much for some people, but I like it. Black Widow seemed to sound pretty good. So good that I'm not going to do it, but at one point I was thinking of switching to that. Those are good. They sound good, at least to me. And Flowmaster always makes good stuff. If you throw like a Flowmaster 40 series on here and delete the resonator as well, you'll have a pretty badass sounding Hemi. So his second question is, where are some places you recommend to take the Power Wagon off-road, both for amateurs and people with experience? I'm going to be taking a countrywide trip soon. I would love to christen my truck with this first real 4x4 drive. Thanks again. Keep the videos coming. Well, thank you for your questions, bud. Basically, that question, the beauty of the Power Wagon is it can really go anywhere. So for amateurs, you know, start getting used to the truck with just some dirt roads and gravel, and you'll notice how fun and how much of a joke that is, how easy it is for this truck. And then, you know, if you have property or you have access to some muddy fields and stuff, I don't suggest you just go tearing up some random place, but you know, even that is real fun in this truck. And in snow and stuff like that, that gets you a feel for where it grips and how the four-wheel drive grips and your turning ability and stuff like that. But then basically any off-road trails. You know, I have a lot of places on my bucket list. I know I wasn't able to make Moab this year, and I really regret that. But Moab, Utah, I'm sure you've heard of that. That is a must. That is on my bucket list for sure. They have great events there. They have Power Wagons in Moab there. This truck is just basically built for that. So Moab in Utah is a great place. They have tons of trails around Utah. Colorado is another amazing place. There is probably a dozen trails I would hit in Colorado. So anywhere out west like that, California, you know, I'm sure Oregon, that kind of either, I'd lean more towards like the woodsy terrain. That's just what I like. That would be great for the Power Wagon, as well as Canada too. I know that Power Wagon has a big following in Canada. I have a lot of Canadian Power Wagon friends on social media, and their terrain looks amazing up there for these trucks. If you're around the Midwest, Badlands Off-Road in Attica, Indiana is where I go. That's a great place. It has rock crawling, sand dunes, mud, dirt trails, you name it basically. And the cliffs in Marseilles, Illinois is decent if they maintain it. I have my GoPro right here. Okay, so this is my standard GoPro recording. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but it's a standard. This is my standard for video. This isn't time-lapse or anything. My normal GoPro recording settings are 1080p, 60 frames a second, wide angle. Alright, Raleigh Car Guy says, new 17 Power Wagon owner here. Also looking for exhaust and side rail ideas. Was thinking about getting an RPB RX3 step bars. Ideas, question mark. Exhaust, I said earlier, so I would go with any of those. As for side rails, I've heard good things about the RPB, or RBP, I'm sorry. Also white knuckle step sliders. I see Don Lemon, great commenter, great viewer, he's very active. He's got a lot of good knowledge too. He says the white knuckle step sliders, I've heard good things about those. I would go with them. Or I honestly, for something like that, would just look into custom. Philip Deist says, how about a close-up of the front inner fender trimming? Alright, well, let me show you that right now. I don't know if I haven't shown that before or what, but that was more when I put the 37-inch tires on when I had stock suspension. I don't know if it would necessarily need trimming now with the lift. So let me give you some light here. Okay, had to turn the ISO up there. Alright, well, here's the fender well here. In front, you can see that I shaved basically all of this down. This came down to here before and I kind of cut into that. Wasn't really necessary in front, I just did it because I had the tools out. In there I didn't touch anything. And then out here was the biggest bitch of getting those to fit back then. Now I have no issues with the lift, but when it wasn't lifted, you know, I showed on video that it was rubbing pretty hard right in here at full lock. So this came down to about where my finger was. I shaved, oh god, about 2 or 3 inches off, especially in here. I cut the liner all the way up. This came way down here. I cut all this up and got into body work here. And this is just dirt, so I'll keep cleaning that. You know, I coated it and painted it afterwards, so you know nothing gets in there. I don't want it corroding prematurely. And this fender flare here also came down here, and I had to cut that a little bit. So I just trimmed it up. Believe it or not, it may not look like much, but if you saw what it looked like stock, it is a decent amount. And bottom line is, it made it work. It made it fit. So for today on questions, we'll do more. And sorry. That's all for the questions. Thank you for everybody that always watches and supports and likes, and you subscribers, and commenting and making these little Q&As. I think they're fun. So anyway guys, more to come. My 100th video is approaching soon, and I got a real good idea for that, so stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. And I got another video in the works that's supposed to be real good. I can't give any hints now, but it's gonna be awesome. And I also have a huge giveaway that you guys are gonna like coming up real soon as well. Coming up, as well as a vehicle spotlight video, so look for that in the near future. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe as always, and I'll catch you later.